Hey guys, welcome to another Grand Chase video, and today we're going to be reading the new Awakening update that is about to be coming up literally tomorrow, or today by the time of this recording. They are going to be doing this update a little bit earlier than usual, and for this update we're going to be receiving the last 3 characters that still don't have an Awakening system, which is Lime, Rin, and Uno. And I honestly really love the setup over here. Lime is just all the more adorable. Uno really doesn't feel much different except for his hair, who just decided to grow, and Rin just got like a what the hell she got, dude. She looked majestic. So there's going to be a little bit of reading here. Thankfully, I have already made up some notes here that I think will make this reading a little more faster. And I honestly really want this video to be faster because normally it takes me 40 minutes and I don't want it to take longer than that. So that being said, if you like this video and like to see more Grand Chase in the future, whether it's just showcases or anything related to Grand Chase, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content on a weekly basis. Without further ado, let's just start up with the events that we're going to be receiving tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be receiving the final Awakening update. If you haven't done the pre-registration, then unfortunately I'm pretty sure it's already gone, so you cannot do that anymore. But for those who do got it, then you're going to be receiving the rewards as what's mentioned before, which is 100 Sealbreaker scrolls, 1 final true Iron Dragon full select box. This name will never be easy to pronounce, and 1 final Voidal Devourer weapon select box. These are like the biggest names I've ever seen, but yes, if you've done the pre-registration, you are bound to get these 3 items for free. And that's pretty much about it. I mean, not much for me to talk about. It's basically what we've seen before with the pre-registrations. So let's just jump in with the events, starting off with the godly attendance log. Literally is the exact same thing we've been receiving for a few months now, so not much for me to talk about it here. But what's new here is the Earnest Great Exploration event, or the Expedition event for simplicity, really. This event here is personally one of my favorites of the entire list, and with good reason, because sometimes this event is really like one of the best ones or the worst ones depending on your luck. It's essentially a exploration sort of event. You assign 4 characters into a specific area and then you set them up to explore that area, and then after 20 hours they come back with a reward, and these rewards usually depend on the rank of your team, and you can get like some pretty interesting rewards as far as I remember, from pieces from the void, from like craftable pets. I'm pretty sure you can get it, which I think is pretty great, so the rewards always come pretty handy, as well as some of these exploration chests, which also comes depending on the rank of your party. And as well, these events also has a progression bar, so the more you explore this area, the more you fill this progress bar, and when you reach 100% you get an exclusive reward that is from that region, as well as the progression bar below here that is basically like overall. And the rewards here, as far as I remember, are still pretty much the same. This is like one of the events that still like haven't been touched when it comes to these progression bars. So yeah, overall it's basically the exact same stuff that we've been getting for Expedition. If you know how the Expedition system works, which nowadays is pretty common, then we basically already get the idea of it. Then we got another weekly chain mission as well. This time around it seems we're going to be mostly revolving around defeating enemies. We need to defeat like about 900 enemies on total. Abyssal Path is going to be cooking tonight. And the rewards that we're going to be receiving seems to be mostly pretty good. So on the first week we're going to be receiving Special Reinforcement Release Scrolls, Epic Reinforcement Stone Box, and GP Property Scrolls, which is always appreciated. Then for the second week is card boxes from Harrier and Another World, as well as GP Property Scroll. And in the third week it seems to be the tickets for Hero and Dungeon and Another World respectively, as well as, you guessed it, GP Property Scrolls. Here we are once again with Hyperspeed. This time around is only for the 3 characters, which is Rin, Lime, and Uno, as well as the Awakening missions as well with the points, which this time also include Rin, Lime, and Uno. This is basically the exact same stuff that we've been seeing for like 4 months, so it's not worth for me to go and explain this. And if you want an explanation, then like check the other videos because it's exactly the same thing. But what is interesting is the new pet that they released, which is called Belle Epoque. I hope I pronounced that right. Finally, a new pet after all these months without one. It's crazy. But yeah, the design of this really looks cool. I really love this sort of design. I love the pet specifically. I think the design of it looks awesome. Here's also the attack of the pet, which is just awesome as well. Pretty big range as well, as if that's like the entire area. Like, that's like really big. I think it also fits very well with Uno. I mean, like the red slashes as well is pretty cool. So pretty interesting attack. And we got the boxes as well for the shop, which is also something that we've been receiving constantly. So there isn't much for me to talk about it here. I normally don't talk about this because most of us are already free to play, so I don't think it's important to just point this out. But I suppose for those who are interested, it's basically just stuff to make you make progress with your character a lot faster, and specifically for the Awakened characters that we're going to be receiving tomorrow. And we're also going to be receiving some returning sets here today. So starting from tomorrow, we're going to be receiving Demonic Black Knight, and Havoc. And for week 2, we're going to be receiving Twilight Phantom, a Cordy set that I honestly forget that exists and it just looks so badass. And Barry as well. Possibly one of the best sets to go for because Barry, I think he's still like one of the best bets we got. I mean, I don't know, I'm a little outdated on that information, but Barry is just like a beast of a pet. As well with the great design as well for his costume, so I suppose for those who like Barry, they will enjoy the fact they're returning. Alright, so let's talk about the awakened characters here, because there is a little bit that I need to talk about here. Thankfully, this is no zero, so it's not gonna take me too long. Though I do want to say that, of course, because Uno is in here, they had to bring Uno as the character for this update. They could have done to the other ones, but you know what, that's fine, I'll take it. I was also able to check his costume as well, which I did mention that it looks similar to his default costume, and I did as a joke, but now it... I can't help but notice it's almost the exact same thing. And I don't really have anything against this because I really love this default design of him. So my boy's wearing socks and sandals. This guy is an enemy to society, dude. So starting off with Rin. Rin receives some pretty interesting changes. So for Rin, first job, the only thing that I noticed that she received that is interesting to talk about is they increased the basic recovery speed from the talismans. Then we move to the second job. We're gonna talk about the light path first because that's how they separated it. They made like dark the last thing they talk about, which I think is pretty weird. So starting up with light, they improved the ability to be able to do the double jump at any point during the jump through her 2-step jump. Charging strike reduced the time required to charging per stage. It also increased the movement speed of the projectile as well as the damage. Talisman buff 1, 2, and even you use a talisman are now command inputs that don't waste MP upon use. And as for the dark path, they improve a little bit of the cancel that she has, where basically she can just stop the combo at any moment. So they improve it so that it can be used immediately doing a combo, and now it reduces less HP upon using it. And then Soul Gap is also now a command attack that doesn't require MP, and it also increased HP recovery a little bit. Third job for Rin, talking about light version. Sweet Relaxation, Enhanced Talisman buff 1 or 2 are also now command inputs that doesn't spend any MP. And as far as I noticed, there is no cooldown as well. Back Wing also removed cooldown and now improved the accuracy of the hitboxes. Vertical Falling can now be used during jump as long as you don't do a jump attack, and also falls double as fast. It doesn't have a cooldown, and you can also chain with it as soon as you touch the ground. For Dark Path, not much change apparently. They increased the buff duration for charging buff, which is now 15 seconds. And Weapon Enhancement and Bloody Wall are also now command attacks that doesn't waste MP. They also received their own little buffs, but I don't think it's that much worth to talk about because it's also pretty basic stuff. I mean, most of the stuff that they talk about is just they add like a cooldown, and Bloody Wall is just now do more damage. Why did they add 5 seconds to it? I don't know. That's like the biggest mystery. And as for the fourth job, basically both paths basically took the exact same thing. The transformations receive a massive boost where they now have more range, attack, and speed. No hyper armor, believe me or not. When you cancel transformations, now the cooldown to it is 15 seconds instead of 30. And then transformation is not cancelled after the special skill, which for those who don't know, the third skill for the transformation will normally de-transform you like immediately. And now it doesn't do that. And that was pretty much it for Rin. We're gonna move on to Lime now, which I think she's the one that received the most of this update, which is a lot to talk about it. And I'm gonna be honest, there's some things here and there that I don't understand 100% of it, so I was a little unsure to put them on. So I'm gonna try to talk about the things I understand and I personally think is the more important stuff for her. So talking about the aura as the first thing they talk about here. So they removed the self aura skill from Saint, which is the special class, and they separated the effects as a different skill altogether. And they also improved so that the aura effects remain even after progressing to the next stage. They also removed the skill increased combo attack speed, because now I think her attacks are mainly just faster, so there's no point to it. Whirlwind no longer costs MP when used. They improved so that the wind will do more damage within a shorter time frame. They also reduced the spin count as well as the damage per hit. They also removed jump dash skill, which was something that she had as well, which it was probably added to her own character. The momentary enhancement and aggressive are now also command attacks that don't cost MP upon use, and their damage and hitbox were adjusted. And now talking about the 3 R's that she can get, the attack, defense, and assistance. They changed so they can only be used as a command, not from the skill slots. Changed so that the MP is not consumed upon used. And for the attack and defense aura, they improved so that the MP recovers automatically while the aura lasts, which in case you don't know, MP doesn't recover when these 2 auras are active. And as for the assistance aura, they increase the MP gain of the MP recovery speed while the aura lasts. Somewhere in here they have the special effect called Berserker. Now this is a first job skill instead of a special job. The conditions of it has been changed, which is now you need level 60. It no longer costs MP as well, and then they improve so that it can be used simultaneously with the other aura's effect, which is big. And now it has a cooldown of 30 seconds. And lastly, they increased the basic movement speed for Lime. God bless. Now for the special class, firstly, the Tornado Crush skills are now command attacks that no longer cost MP. They adjust the damage in the hitbox. Both of these now have a cooldown of 10 seconds, and now this attack also have hyper armor during dungeons. They also talk about something about skill tab, which I personally don't understand this too well. I mean, I try to read some of these stuff from before they talk about it, but they don't really talk about it too much, so we're gonna figure out this more tomorrow. I mean, I wish they kind of talk about this a little bit. They even have like this command input in here, but like even when you look at this, I don't understand what this means in comparison. It could be just like the X keys and I just didn't properly understand, but I don't know. I tried to understand this part of the command expansions, but I didn't really understood. Maybe it's something that's going to be like a new window on the skill tree, but I don't know. And lastly, they did something that is extremely rare. They improved a skill from Lime called Holly Smash. They proved that the damage is applied even when targets are not touching the platforms, which now they can be hit even in the air, which is just crazy. And I wish they did more of this sort of update. I mean, like a lot of characters needed like a skill update, but they just left with the majority of them. But hopefully this was something we're going to be receiving in the future. And lastly, the main of the hour, Uno. Very similar to some of the new characters. Uno didn't receive too much, but he did receive some things that really made me go, why did they give him this? So starting off with Void of Shadow, they improved so that bleeds and hits are triggered when moving. They added a new skill called Voice of Shadow High, which its input is XX up to instantly move up and trigger hits and bleed. It consumes 5 bloody energy attacks upon use and can be selected between blood drain. And if you think that's it, no, because they added another new skill called Blood Path Additional Hit, which now when you press XXX and then forward twice, you attack nearby enemies and draw up to 3 blood orbs from enemies hit to recover your HP. So now this motherfucker can now recover his own HP. It's absolute cinema. Other than that, Blood Rain also received an update where it now reduced the cooldown to 10 seconds, and they changed so that the blood energy gauge is not consumed upon used, and that's pretty much it. There's an X after jump fix as well, but I don't think that's much to talk about it really. And we could actually see this stuff in here as well. Like, this is the new stuff that Uno got. So this is the one I think is XX up, which is basically just an extension to the combo. I'm not sure what this is, but it's something about the evasive, I think, which now does damage as well. And as well as the XXX double forward, which this just seems stupid. Like, did they not needed to bring this to him? Like, he was already good enough. They're just trying to pet him because he's the popular boy. This is unacceptable. And there's also some bugs fixes as well, which as far as I noticed, none of these are like really worth talking about. Most of these are just visual as they usually are. And then in here they drop a Twitch drops menu added, which was something that was already shown through leaks. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know much about Twitch drops. I don't really follow much with Twitch, at least nowadays I don't. But I do know this is something like when you watch a stream, I don't know if it's like any stream related to Grand Chase, but you receive rewards based on how long you've been watching the stream. I'm not sure if it's like only gonna be like Grand Chase streams or it's gonna be like other content creators as well, because I know there's a lot of content creators on Twitch. So I don't know, it's a little bit dark for me because, like I said, I don't know much about Twitch drops. For those who like to like elaborate on it, you're more than welcome to leave in the comments because I sincerely do not know. I'll probably like make a research after this because I'm curious to know how this works. Maybe we'll do streams now because of that. I mean, that would be pretty nice. Don't count on it though. I'm horrible at stream. I'm already bad at making videos. Imagine me streaming. It's like a nightmare. I don't want to be part of it. And that's pretty much it for the Awakening update. Pretty simple stuff. When it comes to the events, unfortunately I wish there were more. The only thing we got here is the Expedition, which fair enough. I think the Expedition is like already a very big event in itself. I mean, it's a free Gaian, it's a free Purple Scroll for True Dragon Ironstead, is a free pet, and we're also going to be receiving like the anniversary update pretty soon, so I do understand them not going too hard on it. Do I wish maybe another event here and there? Yeah, maybe we could have something new there. Maybe another daily mission of some sorts. Maybe Ice Ice Baby, which is like a very simple, small event. But yeah, I do kind of understand they're just going with this one. Expeditions are like a big event as it is. As well as the Hyperspeed and the character-specific Awaken missions, which for some people, I suppose it can be like already too much. I don't know, I kind of wish there was like maybe something a little more in there, you know, just to kind of like complement the cake, you know. It's a good cake already, but I guess for me, like there was just something a little missing there. Is this the power of greed? Maybe. I don't know. And as for the new pad, I already talked about him. I really like the visuals. I like the pad specifically. The design of the pad looks awesome. The attack as well looks pretty good. His range feels like extremely big, but I could be wrong on that. As well as the returning pads. I think all the returning pads are pretty good as well. Unfortunately, I don't remember much about Twilight Phantom, but I do like his costume at the end of the day. And Barry, like I mentioned before, he's like, I think he is still one of the best pets to go for, so it's good to see him back as well. It's been a while since I've seen Barry. And when it comes to the Awakening characters, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really did enjoy some of these characters' updates. I think they've been pretty interesting just looking at what they have in there. If you're gonna ask me which character I am like most excited to try for my own, I'll have to say Lime. Lime is a character that I always say like people underestimate her, and for good reason, because she's always like a slow character and some of her stuff never feels correctly and she always feels a little clunky, but she does have like a good potential to be like a good support and a good offensive character. So now after this Awakening upskill, I really want to see what Lime is now capable of, because she's gonna definitely be like one like powerful character. And it's also because I really enjoy playing with Lime. The second character on my list, I have to say Uno, only because I'm really interested in seeing his new skills more than anything. Definitely seems pretty interesting from what I've seen there. I'm not all that excited for Rin, if I can be honest. Rin is one of those characters that I really don't like how she plays, and granted I play with Dark Rin. It is a good update for her because I really don't like how she plays as well, and it could be pretty exciting to see how she plays. And honestly, after this update I might go to Light Rin, because I was actually kind of having hope that maybe Dark Rin was going to be receiving some cool changes here and there, but just looking at the update, it doesn't really seem like it. I think Light Rin is going to still be like the top of the top ones, which I don't have anything against this. I don't know, we're probably going to be checking that one out as time goes by. Maybe Dark Rin is going to be the best path now, but probably not. It's just me being salty over Dark Rin. But yeah, overall, really interesting update. I'm really looking forward to play with these three characters specifically. Maybe except for Uno, because he's already like one of the best characters. So on that note, I think I'll leave the video here. Like I mentioned before, if you like this video and like to see more Grand Chase in the future, you're more than welcome to leave a like, comment, subscribe, because we do Grand Chase content on a weekly basis. And you guys are more than welcome to leave in the comments what you guys thought about this update. Do you guys enjoyed the Awakening update for these three characters? Or do you maybe wish there was something else in here, or you're not as excited for it? You're more than welcome to leave in the comments, because I'm curious to see what you guys think. And for the record, I've been recording for 37 minutes. I sort of failed my mission. Anyway, we'll leave the video here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great day today. Stay awesome, stay safe, have a great farm section today, and remember to cut your hair, because sometimes big hair can be really annoying. Unless you're a Rin, which in that case, Slay Queen. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Peace.